And here is the last of the Series 1 spellbooks that I have to preview or showcase here during the NECROMOLDS Kickstarter. It is MONGERAGON. And he is... well, actually, I said the Mudmumps were my favorite, and in the early information when there were only 4 monsters revealed, Mudmumps are still one of my favorites. I really do like the Mudmumps. I don't know if it's just the alliteration or just the design of the characters, but I like the Mudmumps. They're fun to play. But this one came out, and once I realized exactly what was going on here with this creature, MONGERAGON might be my absolute favorite of the 7 that I have seen. So if you look here on the art, he is a little like ancient skeletal little dwarf guy riding a mech or a golem of shambling treasure hoard. It's gold, and you see some gold bars and gold coins and jewels, and he's sitting on his throne over this bejeweled, begilded skull monster mech as he shambles around. Here is the inside of the mold, and we'll get to why there's 2 different slots in here in just a moment as we look at his stats. The larger form has a clay volume of 14, so again, I think the 3rd largest monster of the ones we have here. The smaller mold in here has a volume of 4. He is a Thrasher, which means he has defense and melee attacks, cause synergy with other monsters of a similar nature, allowing them to roll one extra die when they are within a close distance. He automatically gets to roll 2 melee dice when moving into melee combat. He gets to roll 1 ranged attack and 1 defense. He can be given a medium distance move action or a close distance ranged attack action. And his special ability is if you roll a spell, a magic side of your command dice, you can either discard that for a gem, which again, if you watch the gameplay video, you know that gives you +1 to your roll. But you can assign it to MONGERAGON, and only if you assign it to MONGERAGON does he get this ability of, if he is destroyed, you get to, instead of just staying on the board as a blotch, you can take that clay back and form the smaller version, which is the ancient dwarf guy riding the shambling hoard of treasure, because it basically works out so that the attack, you managed to cast a magic spell to protect yourself, and the attack destroyed his little shambling treasure golem, but the dwarf himself has now popped off and can continue the fight, although he's very small and may not last very long. So how that works in practice is you take this, and again, this is the mold of this. That's too much clay. Just the design of this mold is really good. So let's be careful here. Mush all the clay out. Make sure we get this all the way down. You're hearing it click. That's not anything cracking. That's just the pieces kind of squinching together. Again, these are 3D printed prototypes, so the final product will be injection molded and solid. Although these are actually pretty solid, all things considered, for 3D printed things. So you open this up, pull out MONGERAGON, and what I like about this is even on this little mold, even on this little clay mold, you can clearly see here's the skull, the shambling treasure hoard, and then the small little dwarf here riding on his throne of spears and gold and money. So we'll pop him out of here. He is a little difficult to get out of here without smushing the base up a little bit, so we're going to have to fix that, but there we go. Kind of mold it back into place. And then, of course, more details, more spears in the back of his throne. Like I said, just the detail on here, the fact that you can clearly see the little dwarf riding here on his throne on top of his golem is really neat. And he's a fun little figure. And again, now we get to see, there he is on the battlefield. And like I said, he may be my favorite one because of his mechanic. Because let's say he's assigned a spell dice, but oh no, he's lost a fight. So he gets... But because we assigned that spell die, we can take the clay we can reclaim our clay and mold the smaller version here, which is just the ancient dwarf minus his treasure hoard. And he can come back into play. Look at, he's so wee. I think he is the smallest of the monsters. But you can put him back out on the battlefield, and he can avenge his treasure, much like Scrooge McDuck. And hopefully he'll do well, but he is a very small creature, and small creatures in giant battlefields tend to, as we know, get smushed. And he is now smushed into a Skeledemon. You can see he barely fills that Skeledemon smash. But there, and that's it. Those are the 7 molds of NECROMOLDS, if you, at least the ones that I'm aware of here, as we are prepping for the Kickstarter. I say we, like I'm not involved with the team or the campaign, but as I am anticipating, us as audience members, but those are the molds I've got for NECROMOLDS. It is a really fun game to play. Hopefully, if you're watching these, it's because you saw the gameplay video and came here and have been following up. And hopefully, you've already backed it. If not, again, go to the description, check out the Kickstarter, back the product. I will, if the Kickstarter is over, if you're watching this in several months and the Kickstarter was successful and now it's on a website, I'll change the link down there. So the link down there may just lead to where you can buy the game. And I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping in a few months that is not a link to a, hey, here's a thing that was. It's a, here's a thing you can go buy now. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see what more NECROMOLDS content we'll have. Like I said, if there's some gameplay videos, I'm going to try to throw all these in a playlist. So you just click over there to the playlist, watch them, enjoy them, back the Kickstarter, and let's have some fun with the NECROMOLDS.